Yeah, so just a quick check. If you're able to listen to my audio, just type yes in the comment box if you are able to listen to me. Superb. So we are also live on YouTube, and it's live streaming. So we have already more than like 80 participants who are live on Zoom, and in 2 minutes we'll also start this session. Right. So just type in the comment box where are you from, and just your name. Superb. Asan, Ladda, yes, superb. You're already part of the community. Superb. So let's get started with this session. And first of all, let me thank you all for joining this session. This is live, and this will be ultimate session you will ever see on screening and charting techniques. And let me share my mind map. If you are able to see, just let me know once you are able to see this. This is what we are going live. Superb. So first of all, once you are able to see the mind map, just type I can in the comment box once you are able to see this. Okay. So that I know that you are able to see this clearly. Superb. So what we'll do is, we will have these 8 segments, which we'll try to cover in this session. And we'll go much deeper into different techniques which you can apply in terms of blending technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So this will be the next level of learning which you are going to have. And for people who are new to this tool, basically what we are going to cover is the tool called as Tradingview, and I'll just paste it here. Right, so this is what it looks like. For people who don't have an account, right, you can create a free account. You can just go to this link, technofunda.co/tradingview, and you can just get started creating a free account on this particular tool, so that you can work out side by side. And if you want to upgrade also, you can upgrade to pro. This is my referral link, so you can basically get some additional discount also. And they are running some Black Friday offer today, so you can avail this if you want to. But right now, if you want to just get started, you can just create a free account. If you wish, you can upgrade it later or today, whatever, it's up to you. Right, so that is the first step you need to get started. Now, what we will start with is a totally practical and implementable way of doing things. So I'll discuss with you different things which you can do on this particular tool, and how you can take your technical analysis as well as some of the aspects around fundamental analysis to the next level, and how you can also automate a lot of things, and make your life as an investor very easy. Right, so if you are ready to learn, just type RTL in the comment box, so that I know that you are ready to learn. Just type RTL in the comment box. Superb. So let's go deeper. Right, if you are ready to learn, just type RTL, so that I know you are ready. Okay, so I hope you all have created a sign up on the tool. Right, so just as I mentioned, just go to this link, technofunda.co/tradingview, and you will end up into this particular page. Right, so I'll just type it here. Right, so this is what you need to go for, and I'll just paste this as well in the live chat, so that you can copy paste that link. Okay, so you can get started with this. And Then what you do is just sign up. I'll just give a minute or so. Okay. So once you are signed up and ready to work along, it will be more practical. I'm a true believer of implementing things rather than just doing theoretical things. So once you are ready to work side by side, just let me know. Just type ready once you are ready, so that you can do all these things side by side. I'll pause in between, and you can actually you know do all these things together, right? So that is the whole intention, that let's keep it more practical. Yeah. So once you are ready, I'll just share my screen again. What we'll do is first try to understand how to take that first baby step. So a lot of you might be investor who never use technical analysis to your advantage. So I'll just get from the basic, and then show you the basic settings which you need to do on the charts, right? So once you go here, just go to chart. Okay, so once you have completed this, just go to chart, and then you have to basically select any company. So here is where you can select any company. Okay, so just type any name of the company so that you are familiar, and say let's load Reliance Industry. And by the way, all the things which we are doing here, any company's name which we are discussing, it's all just for the knowledge purpose. There is no recommendation. So whatever I'm telling, it's just to understand the tool. So don't think that whatever companies I'm telling, you need to buy or sell anything, right? So don't take that as an investing recommendation. I'll randomly pick any companies, and I'll show you the usage of the tool. Okay. So what we need to do after that is, once you load the company, you can also select the exchange to narrow down. Just in case you are just using Indian companies and you are just analyzing Indian companies, you can just filter down, say NSE. Okay. So once you filter down NSE, all the options which you get is only for uh, NSE companies. Okay, so that's where you can be narrowed down. The second thing which you need to do is select the time period, right? So there are different time periods when it comes to loading the charts, and it's again very simple for people who are already investing in market, or they have seen themselves the data. Basically, every day there are like multiple transactions that happen right on the exchange. Now the data of the entire day gets captured, for a minute gets captured, for every second gets captured, for every millisecond gets captured, right? And it is in the form of OHLC. So O is open, right? H is high, L is low, and C is close. So say for example, market opens at 9:15. What is the starting price? Suppose it is 100, that is your open price. From 100, if it goes during the day highest at 110, that is high. Then if it comes down and it goes to 98, say for example, then that is the low of that day. And then say it closes at 105, that is the closing price. And that is what these candles represent in a way. And I'm not going deeper into technical analysis, but this is the overall outlook that will look like. And by the way, how many of you love gifts? I have a special gift for people. So I'll be sharing one gift which is worth 5,000 rupees, which covers a lot of concepts around technical analysis and more deeper aspects of this tool. So for people who are staying till end, I'll be sharing that gift with all of you, right? So if you love gifts, just type love gifts in the comment box. Yeah. So there you will understand all the technical analysis concepts. So I'm not going deeper into technical analysis right now. I'll be more focused on how to use this tool to your advantage. Okay. So here you can find on the top the time period, whether you want to take this OHLC data on hourly basis, on a 15-minute basis, on a daily basis, weekly basis, and so on and so forth. And all the options are available here. Okay, so you can basically select any options which you like. I generally use weekly charts for my satellite portfolio, and I use monthly charts predominantly for my long term core portfolio. So that is how I use it. If you want to use lower time frame, all the options are available on this tool. Okay, So that's how it will go. Now, once you have selected the time frame, you need to select chart types. So this symbol where you have this candles, there you can select a lot of such charts. Okay, so you have a whole lot of options on this tool where you can select, say, uh, hikinashi, you can select renko, point and finger, and the normal line chart, bar chart, whatever you like. And again, see, tools are always meant for us to take better decision. Tools, underlying tools are nothing right and wrong. So you can use anything which you are comfortable with. I generally am using only bar charts and candlesticks in my approach, but it's up to you whatever you want to use. Okay, so that's how we get started. So you must load a ticker, you must load the time frame, you must load the type of chart you want to see. That is how you get started. Okay, so if you want to just give it a try, just give it a try for a few seconds, and just type done if you have done this, loading the basic things on your chart. Okay, so hope you have done this. I'll just wait for 30 more seconds. Superb. So we have Vimal. Let me see who have done in the live chat as well. Superb. So we have like almost 130 people who are live, and they have done it. Superb. We have Nipender who has done it. Awesome. So, uh, let's now get into the other bits and pieces of the charting, right? So I'll again share my screen, and we'll go into the next step, which are some of the chart settings as well as the drawing tools. So if you are just joined this, you can just start with this particular link. Just start with technofunda.co/tradingview, and you can get started. Okay. So now let's go to some of the chart settings and drawing tools which we are going to use. And this is what we are going to do. Okay, so let's go into the first part. Okay, so this entire cursor or the ribbon which you see over here on the left is known as drawing tools tab. Okay, so all these tools which are on the left side of your chart is drawing tool. And for the ease of understanding, I'll remove all the things which are on my chart currently so that it doesn't confuse you. Okay, so now the chart is completely blank, and now one by one we will see some of these drawing tools. Again, due to limitation of times, we will not do everything, but we will take out the important things which you should know in terms of drawing tools. Okay, so what first tool you have is in terms of the kind of cursor you want to use, right? So you can use any cross or dot or arrow kind of cursor, and you can change it, right? And again, I keep it default, but you have all these facility on the tool which you can pretty much use it. Then you have the tools where you can draw different kind of lines and trend lines particularly. And again, I'm not going deeper into what it means and how to draw and all that in terms of technical analysis concept, because that I'll be giving you a gift which I've promised. So I'll just touch upon basically how to just use this as a tool, right? So say you can draw a trend line. I'm just again roughly doing it just to show you that this is how you can draw a trend line. Same way, if you want to draw say horizontal line, say there are supports and resistance areas and you want to draw a line over here, just for example, you can draw it. Now the good part is, in terms of colors and format and line thickness, it has hell lot of options on TradingView. So if you are somebody who is like creative personality and who likes color and want to change a lot of things, you can pretty much do it on TradingView. So now here, if you see, there is this bar which pops up when you select this particular line. So you can change the color. Say I want to keep it blue, and say I want say line thickness slightly lesser, I want say full line instead of dotted line, and then few more settings which are there. I want to say change the visibility and transparency and all sort of things. You can do it, and this is what I'll keep it up to you to explore. But the idea is to give you awareness that these kind of things are available, right? So if you are a creative person, you can go much deeper and keep changing all the things as per your convenience. Then there are tools around the advanced concepts, like some of people use Gantt charts and Gantt box and Gantt squares. You can pretty much get it all over here, so it's all pre-built and you just need to load it. What I use is I use a more Fibonacci retracements, and this is pretty much available. So you select the range from which place to which place you want to draw. Say for example, this is the zone I want to draw the Fibonacci. It will give me all the levels which are underlying. Okay, and again, the gift which I'm going to share at the end, you will have one video on Fibonacci below the session which I'll be sharing with you. So there you can see what Fibonacci means and why it is important, and why the entire universe is surrounded by the principles, or the kind of concepts which we learn in Fibonacci, right? So it's a universal principle you'll find in a lot of different organisms and the world around us. So in the universe around us, in fact the universe itself is in the form of Fibonacci spiral, right? So that is the beauty of some of these tools, that these are like universal time tested principles which are there embedded into some of these studies. Okay, so that's how you can draw some of these different things. And again, I would suggest you try it out and see if it works for you and how it works for you, right? A lot of people practice different things, and absolutely there is no requirement to do all of it, right? Since we are learning the tool, I'm showing the usage of each and everything, and giving you awareness that what all things are available there. Okay, then you have geographical shapes, which I pretty much use it. And let me just delete this as of now. Yeah, so there are different shapes which you can use. Okay, so say for example, if I'm taking Reliance only as an example, all of you must be knowing that there was a long period of consolidation for Reliance, right? How many of you know this? Just type I know in the comment box. So between like 2010 to 15, there was a long period of consolidation. Okay, and let's specifically take this particular period, specifically this 1 or 2 year. Okay, so now suppose I want to draw a rectangle where it shows me that there was a long period of consolidation. I can use these shapes and draw it like this, and it's not perfect. And again, I'm not running behind perfection as of now, but idea is just to show you that how to use these things. And on the top of it, if I load say volume, okay, I can actually make out where the breakouts and everything is happening. So here there was a price volume breakout, so I can again use one more rectangle, and I can denote the price volume breakout like this. So this is how you can use some of these shapes to enhance your study. There was a long period of consolidation, and then there was a breakout that happened pretty much in this particular zone. Okay, so this is how you can use it. Now these box you can also extend, once you click like this, there are different settings, as I mentioned, on this box also, which you can do. And you can extend it left, you can extend it right, and you can make a zone like this. You can change the background color, you can change the border color. All these things pretty much are there in this particular tool, right? So it's up to you, again, as I said, how much creativity you want to use and how much visual appeal you want to get from this particular tool. Okay, so if you are clear so far, just type super clear in the comment box. If you are clear so far, just type super clear, so that I know you are following so far. And if you want to just give it a try, just go ahead and try some of these things. Okay, super clear. Okay, awesome. So that is where you can use these different shapes, and there are hell of a lot of things. You can do eclipse, you can do triangles and curvatures and arc, whatever is your necessity, what you want to demonstrate or understand, you can use these shapes. Now then it is like a simple text function, and you can do again lot of things. Say for example, there was say AGM over here, and they announced something in AGM where they launched Geo and all these digital platforms. So you can write AGM announcement for Geo, something like this, so that you know that these kind of triggers happen during this phase. And pretty much you can you know have this as a reference, okay, in your charts. Same way, if you want to just put a plain text, okay, that okay, here you want to put a text that stay alerted, resistance zone, right? So suppose I want to put this text over here, that there is a resistance zone, and just be cautious, okay. So I can put a floating text also like this. Then there are a lot of other options which you can explore. You have arrows and flag marks. Suppose I want to flag that, okay, if I reach here, then it is say for example, I'm using right now that, okay, if I reach here, this is the goal I want to achieve, okay. So that you can use. Or you have achieved some benchmark, or your book profit, you can make this and then make a green flag, okay. If there is a resistance zone that is going to come, you can put a red flag. So you can again use your creativity and go deeper, okay. So that's over here. And then you can use different patterns if you are using Elliott waves, if you are doing say triangle patterns and all that. You can use that. Pretty much time cycles are available. So this, again, I'm not practicing all of these, but if you are, harmonics and all those are also here. So if you are practicing and somebody who wants to go deeper, you can explore it here, okay. Then this is a very interesting feature where you can actually understand risk reward, okay. How many of you think that risk reward is very, very important, either in investing or in trading? Just type important in the comment box, okay. So if you think, it is very, very important to have risk reward in place, and always think about risk first before even getting into any position, right? So this particular tool is very, very important in that aspect. And I'm a long only kind of person. I don't really take short positions. So I use this first part, which is a long position. You can even use short position. I'll show what it does, and it's just opposite of long. Okay. So what it does is basically this. Okay. So suppose you are taking position here. Okay. So you are, suppose, at this point, where this zero quantity and this is written, and suppose you have taken your exit, that okay, if my say line, let me extend this a bit. So say this was a kind of zone where you had some bounce back and there was some resistance, and you want to take a exit just below that range. I'm again giving a hypothetical example, okay. And then on the top, if you had a plan that okay, I at least need say 2x of return before I close the position, okay. So you have made a risk reward of 2.06. I've just approximated it. So here it will tell you that if you are doing this, what happens, so what happens is how much percentage is your exit stop loss, which is 12 percentage, 12.7, and what is your target percentage. And since here the chart area is already there, it has also calculated the levels and told you, okay. And it will tell you the risk reward real time. So whatever is your thoughts, you can just keep moving, and you get exact target price, and whatever amount you are putting, even this you can edit the amount, which is initial amount. I think it should be somewhere here as a inputs. So yeah, here is your amount, and what is your account size, and what is the risk percentage, and everything you can set it here, okay. So you can change whatever amount of position you are taking, and then real time, just on the chart itself, you can view your risk reward, and what are your target levels and what are your exit levels, okay. And this short is just opposite. It does just the opposite. If you are taking short position, it will give you risk reward on the other side. Now, these two are very simple. This basically gives you date range for the range which you are selecting. It will tell you that there are 70 bars and it is for 90 days. And same way, if you go here, it will give you price range that, okay, from this bottom in March till say this particular point, what was the return? So if you think about it, within this particular time frame itself, Reliance gave almost 137% return from this bottom this year. Okay, so that's what it depicts. And then you have combined one date and price range, which does both of that together. So you can select the date range and the price targets simultaneously. Okay, so this is how you can do it. So here you get combination of both the time frame, what is the range, and then what is the percentage overall in the entire zone which you have selected. Okay. So if you have noted this down so far, just type noted in the comment box. And if you want to just side by side execute, just quickly execute so that you can practice it real time, right? And for people who have not still logged in into the account, this is the link I've shared with all of you, right? So you can just get in on this tool. This is the link, technofunda.co/tradingview, and you can access the entire tool. Okay. So far what we have covered is the drawing tools, pretty much till measurement tools we have covered. Now, these are some of the very, very simple tools, remaining tools, which we are going to cover. So then you have a lot of these icons or smiley kind of things, which you see on your mobile and on different social media apps, right? So you can, again, make it fun. Investing any which way should be a fun. So you can put thumbs up if your profit hits. You can use different other, if there is a big trend like this, you can use airplane and all these things, rockets, and we see any which ways on Twitter and other social media, but you can use this over here also, right? So this is a more interesting way of charting, which it enables. Then you have zoom in, zoom out, which is pretty basic. And then you have a functionality to lock all the drawing tools, which is again, it locks the tool so that the chart doesn't go here and there. And this is a toggle button, it will just hide and unhide. So suppose I have this tool, it will just toggle and untoggle if I just click on this button. And they have shortcuts also. If you just hover around, you will find the Control Alt H and those kind of shortcuts which you can use. And finally, this is for deleting. So if you want to remove just the drawings, if you want to remove indicators, you can just directly do it from here, and your screen will get cleared. Okay, so that is the first part. And here you can basically cover all these drawing tools. Now I would highly recommend to all of you that you just explore all of this, right? So I'm going slightly faster, so because I want to cover a lot of interesting and advanced stuff also with all of you guys. But my suggestion would be just go deeper and practice all of these things, whichever is it's relevant, and then you will boil down to few things which will actually help you, and then you can take it that to the next level. Okay. Now there is one more interesting thing which you can do is making this as a favorite. So once you explore things which you require, you can just click on this star button, which is a yellow star, and it will come as a favorite on the top. Same way on the time frame, if you are using say a specific time frame very frequently, say you are using say 2 hour chart, then you can just click on add to favorites and it will be on the top, so that you don't need to search all these tools. Okay. And there is a toggle of these favorites also. So this bottom left is the toggle of favorites. So if you uncheck this, all the shortcuts will go away. If you again click on this, all the shortcuts will come back. Okay. How many of you found this interesting so far? Just type interesting in the comment box. Superb. So this is on the drawing tools. Now let's go into indicators. Okay, so indicators, you have hell lot of indicators out there on TradingView, and this is the button where you can load the indicators. Again, I'll not go deeper into explaining the indicators. Idea is how to use all these functions. Okay, so the first one is built-ins, where all the indicators which TradingView has created is available, right? So you can just search on any indicator, say I want to load average directional index, and it will be available to me. And there are two types of indicator. One is that sits below the chart, and usually they are constrained between 0 to 100. And then there are other indicators like moving average, which sits with the chart, right? So right now this blue line is the moving average, which is along with the chart, and then you have other indicator like ADX, which is sitting below the chart. And again, there is a shortcut. If you double click on this chart area, the below indicator will toggle, right? And if you double click again, it will come back. So this is a cool hack to just hide and unhide your indicators which are out there in bottom, right? So how many of you found this useful? Just type useful hack. Okay, some of the indicators. Then on the top of it, the beautiful thing about this tool is there is public library. So all the users across the world, okay, even you yourself can create some of the indicators yourself, and you can share it with the entire world. You can make it public, and people can see your indicators, they can see your strategies, and there are hell lot of such indicators. And even if you want to use it, it's very easy. You get the source code of everything. So if you click on indicators and built-ins, and here if you hover, you will see this source code thing. And if you want to read what this particular strategy does, you will also get the article on it. So if you click on read more, it will tell you, whoever is the author, it will tell you what is the purpose, how it is used, what are the code, and different comments if people have asked questions. So it's more like a social media of the entire tool, which you will find on the public library. So it is very, very powerful, because it saves a lot of your hard work. Then what you can also do, and which I do pretty frequently, is you can actually create your own scripts, right? So I have like a lot of scripts which I have prepared, and you can easily copy a code from this and save as local your own code, and then you can modify it as per your requirement. So that is also possible. And then you have this candlestick patterns, which is just a new functionality which they have added. Here you can identify a lot of the patterns. So say for example, I want to identify gravestone doji as a pattern. So automatically wherever it is formed, I'll get the signals. Okay, same way if I want to go into say doji. Okay, so wherever doji will be formed, I'll see this kind of symbol. So here it is D symbol. So here the doji is formed, and when I hover onto it, it will give me the definition that what exactly it means by doji and a specific candlestick pattern. So it's very good for somebody who wants to learn candlestick charting, and at the same time they want to bits by pieces understand the meaning of what and why this indicator is there, right? So it will give you excellent overview of all these candlestick indicators. Okay, so so far what we have covered is again on the indicators. Let me go here. So we have covered built-ins, we have covered candlestick, and again this is something which you should explore at your leisure, because I cannot go deeper into each and every topic, but otherwise it will be like video in itself. Okay, so just go and explore at your leisure and see how everything works. And then you have volume profile, which is again very, very powerful. And for this I think you cannot do in basic version. So what you can do is as I said, you can just go here, go to technofunda.co slash trading view, this particular link. And what you can enable is you can go here and create a pro trial. Here they will give you 30 days trial or something. If you want to upgrade, it's up to you, but otherwise you can do a free 30-day trial. like very very powerful thing. So you can load these volume profiles and you get enormous amount of insights from this. Okay, so volume profile is something very deep. Again, I'm not covering what does it mean by volume profile, but in nutshell what it does is, when you see this particular, let me delete this first, all these things, so that it's easily visible. Just let me delete this. Okay, so what volume does is this, right? So when you are loading your volume, normal daily volume, so what does it say is, on that particular day, okay, on that particular day, what was the traded volume? But it does not give you an idea that at what time how much volume got traded. So it is just entire day they say that okay, 1 lakh shares got traded, but that is the incomplete information. If you want to go deeper, that at this price what was the volume traded, at this price what was the volume traded, at this price what was the volume traded, so that it's given by volume profile. So here it's a fixed range volume profile which I have loaded. So whatever range you have selected, the time frame you have selected, based on that it will give you an idea what is the volume at particular price, not time, is getting traded, right? And that will give you very very powerful insight that what is the level. So if it goes up, say Reliance went high so far, but if you see the kind of volumes that were getting traded at these high price were very very low. So it will give you an insight that okay, if people were not convinced at the peak of this entire trend, then there was something missing. Okay, so that's where you can get an idea that okay, the conviction was more around this middle zone, but as the price kept getting higher, the conviction in terms of volume at those prices was going down. And that is where you can take those insights, you can probably book some profit, you can stay light and not add your position. Those all decisions you can take based on this volume profile. So it is very very powerful tool. I use it very frequently, and definitely you should also use it because it tells you about the market psychology, and that's what the technical analysis is all about, right? So it's a study of all the market participants, how they think, how they are behaving, and that will give you a lot of insights. Okay, so how many of you found this powerful? Just type powerful in the comment box, and I'm sure you'll try to explore this, right? So just make sure you explore the volume profile feature, and particularly, you know even if you are looking at investing, you can use weekly and monthly charts, and that is where it will give you much more idea in terms of taking decisions and having a long term view in your investing also. So it's not just, and I firmly believe that technical analysis as a whole is not just for trading. It's much more powerful when you take investing decisions based on that. Okay, so that is on indicators. Now there are some chart layouts which you can select, right? So when you explore the entire tool, okay, and then you are fixated that okay, these are the 10-15 things I want to frequently look. So as an smart person, it doesn't require you to basically load the entire layout again and again. You should not do that, right? So what you can do is basically you know fix some layout that okay, suppose I want let me remove this for now. Okay, so let me say I want a moving average. Okay, let's say I want an exponential moving average, which is say 13 period moving average, which I want to always see, and I want to see this particular volume on the bottom. Okay, and any other indicator, all the time frame, the chart, everything you can select in one go. Okay, so once you select and you know whatever you want, then you can just put this and say make a new copy of this. Okay, I have too many of layouts loaded as of now, so even in Pro Plus I have exhausted. So what I'll do is just rename right now. Okay, so I'll just rename like YT YouTube Live and save it. Okay, so next time when you want to load this particular layout, you can just go here and click on YT Live, and this particular appear in front of you. So I had this uh, ADX also, which got saved. By the way, why it got saved is because I have this auto save every 5 minutes. So whatever I did before 5 minutes, it got saved and that came in the layout. But this is how you can load the layout. This is the process to load the layout. And then each time when you load that layout, you can pretty much use the same thing again and again and again. Okay. So that's again, I believe as an investor you should have a peaceful life. So these are all things which will make your life simpler and peaceful. Okay. So that is again one more hack which you can do. Okay. Then as I said, autosave, you can keep it on. You can also load multiple chart layouts. Okay. And by the way, so far, if you are liking it and you are not subscribed to my channel, you can just hit on the subscribe button right now so that you don't forget, for people who are live watching on YouTube, right? So you can just hit a subscribe button so that you don't miss out any videos in future. Okay. So that is on the layout. Now what we can do is in terms of the different number of screens which you can see, right? So if you click on this select layout, okay, you will see different options, and it's like visually very very easy to see, right? If you want, say, vertically two charts loaded simultaneously, you can do that. You can use three charts horizontally, right? You can also say make it five charts like this. So I think I need to upgrade to even higher level, but yeah, some of these are premiums. But up to 3 4 charts, I think it's pretty much possible. So normal even four charts I can load. Okay. I can also, select the changes. So I can do the syncing. Okay. So if I want to change symbol in one of the charts, say I have selected this chart, and when you select, it will show a blue button around this particular chart. Now, say instead of Reliance, I want, which company, just tell me some company. Let's say I want HDFC Bank. Okay. So let's take HDFC Bank, and this one chart has got changed. Okay, so here you see that HDFC Bank here has changed. Rest of the charts, it's still Reliance. Now, what you can do is, if you want to sync all the charts, okay, so you can sync in terms of symbol. So if you click here, all the charts will become HDFC Bank. Now, the power of using this is, say for example, you are doing multi time frame analysis. So I want to see whether the trend is syncing across multiple time frames. Say on weekly, I would make this monthly chart. I would make this daily chart, and then I would make this, say, 2 hour chart. And I want to see whether across the time frame my trend is consistent. So this is how I can do it. And then, when I want to change a company, say now I want to say see Asian Paints. Okay. Once I load Asian Paints, my time frame will still remain the same: weekly, monthly, daily, and 2 hour. Okay. But my company has changed across all the four charts. So I don't need to, manually go into each and every chart and change the ticker. Now, same way, if you want to remove the single, symbol, or you can keep it, and you want to also make the time frame synchronize. So you can do that by this, and then you can remove the symbol just in case you want to. And then, once you select the time frame as well as the interval, everything will go into the same, which the primary chart which you have selected. Now if I make it weekly, everything will become weekly. Okay. This is useful if you want to load different companies. Say in the weekly trend you have four companies and you want to compare different companies. Okay, say I want to compare Reliance with Asian Paints with this particular, say, HDFC Bank, and this I want to keep, say, Titan, just for example. Okay. And all of these are, by the way, examples, no recommendation. I am not buying any of these stocks. So just take it with a pinch of salt, right? It's just for understanding the concepts. So this is how you can do same interval analysis. Okay. And then when you change the interval also, every chart will change. So now if I do daily, everything will go to daily. Okay. How many of you found this amazing? Just type amazing in the comment box. Just type amazing if you found this amazing. So use this, guys. This is like very, very powerful. And just try it out. I'm just sharing the link also if you want to try it out on the YouTube live as we are speaking. So just make sure that you are trying it out. If you are not just tried, just click on the link which I've just shared and give it a try. Okay, just give it a try. And it's just very, very powerful, because most of the times where we get fixated is comparing different companies, right? So we generally have a lot of ideas. We have like 10-15 ideas many times, and we don't know which 2-3 top ideas to compare. Okay. And that is where uh, you know you can use these kind of tools to compare which is the stronger trend, and where to take your position. Okay. So that's how it brings you a lot of power. And you can take better decisions, because it's all about taking better decisions in the end, right? So that is on the layouts and templates. Again, that is what we covered. Now, what you can do is, again, on this layout, you can save it. Again, the template which you have, you can save the templates here. So just put save indicator template, and the template which you have will get saved. So you can have different templates within this. And again, this is a very powerful feature. Okay. So now let me again go back to a single chart view, just for the ease of discussing all the concepts. And let's go deeper into this. Okay. So now, how many of you want to learn screening? Just type screening in the comment box. And I'm going to show something very, very amazing, which will blow your mind. Okay. So when it comes to screening, I like a screener a lot in terms of fundamental screening. But if you want to actually do TechnoFunda kind of screening, this TradingView is one of the best tool out there, because it has a lot of price related data, volume related data, and other indicators which you can load on any screen which you want to apply, right? So it's very, very powerful. In fact, you can have some descriptive screens also. So when it goes to that kind of blending different concepts, this is like one of the best tool. And it gives a lot of power. So now I'll show some of the basic things on this screen. We'll take it forward. Okay. So when you go to this bottom, how to load the screen is this bottom left. Just click on this stock screener, and then you can just cover the area whatever you want to, and you can pretty much use the entire area. Okay. So this is how you can load it. Once you load it, what you need to do is go to the filters. Okay. So go to filters, and here the real magic and power lies. Okay. So here you can actually select a lot of different things. You can say, if I want a company which is making, say, new all-time high, I can select that. Say it is also making new 52-week high. It generally makes, right? If it is a new all-time high, it's generally is a 52-week high also. Then if I want to say go to the descriptive parameters. So say I want only companies from, say, if I'm analyzing cement sector. Okay, cement, or let me say uh, construction, right? I think there will be different nomenclature here. But say I want to do consumer durables, right? So I can just filter down that particular sector. If I want to select any just stocks, right? So I'm just selecting stocks. Then say I want to just take from India, so you can just select India as a country. Then you want to select some parameters on volume or relative volume, or price into volume. Some do VWAP kind of analysis, so you can punch in and take the select the range over here. Then you can also screen based on industry, right? So that you will again find here. So there is some minor difference they have in terms of industry and sectors. I think here you might probably find a bigger list, so that again you can explore. You can see this drop down, and there are like various subcategories within this industry also. Say you want chemicals industry, you can select chemicals, and so on and so forth, right? You can do a lot of such options. Then this is on the fundamental side. So say for example, you want to find companies which are having P ratio less than 35, say for example. So you can write below or equal to say 35. Then if you want a company which is having at least 2% dividend yield, so you can write above or equal say 2%. Okay. Then you want to say that if company needs to have EBITDA margin of something, okay, so you can select a kind of EBITDA margin or operating margin, and you can pretty much punch in here. So you have gross profit margin, your net profit margin, you should have even operating margin or EBITDA margin option. So here you go, right? So if you want say above 10% EBITDA margin, you can just punch in here. So there are again a lot of options when it comes to fundamental screening. In same way, you can do a lot of technical screens. So you can add any indicator you want, oscillators you want, percentage change in price, percentage change in volume, exponential moving average, Ichimoku if you are following that, parabolic SR, all the indicators which are built in, you will find it here. Okay, even kind of VWAP prices, if you are tracking, you can find VWAP prices. So all these things very powerful. And once you select all the filters and close it, it will show this bubble that okay, you have selected 7 filters, and probably whatever I have selected, it's like too demanding which generally I have. So right now I'm just resetting it and removing all the filters just for your understanding, but this is how you can apply it. Okay. Now second thing which you can do is you can select all your parameters which you want to see. So there are some default screens which you can do here. So you can do a whole lot of screens which are available. So let me show you some of these screens, right? So uh, what you can load it here is some of the default screens. Okay. So say you want to see the overall overview. So you can see the overview, change market cap, EPS, and sector, and all that. Say you want to see the valuation screen. So there are like built-ins where it gives various valuation parameters. Say you want to see based on some oscillators which you are tracking, you can see that. Say you don't like any of these, you are like okay, this is fine, but I want to create my own screen. So you can also change these parameters, and you can create your own screen. So if you click on these 3 dots, you can check, uncheck, and you can add any parameters from this entire big list. Okay. So you can choose any parameters you want to, and then you go here and then just put save column as, and just write that okay, this is like YouTube live screen. Okay, just for ease of remembering it. And then you can just save it and forget it. So every time when you are viewing, it will come like this. Okay. And then you can download the data over here. I think this requires pro version. Then you can change the time frame, weekly, monthly, whatever you want to change. You can also set alerts, whenever, and this I do very frequently. So whenever new company comes into my screen, I just don't want to see this again and again, right? So I want to do whatever I like. So I just set an alert, enable show pop-up, send email, and even now they have an app, so you can just do an app, and that is also possible. And I think they have like SMS facility also now, I think. So you can just set the alert, you can set the expiration day, enable, and then everything is in good mode. So whenever it comes, you see, otherwise you just chill, right? How many of you found this interesting? Just type interesting in the comment box. So this is very, very interesting feature when it comes to screener, right? So it's like almost on autopilot mode. You just set it and forget it. Okay. So that's on screening side. Pretty much we have covered. So downloading, changing the time frame, creating alerts, and saving the template, and customizing the columns. So I think pretty much we have covered everything on screening. And then what you can do is you can create a lot of watch list. Okay, so here you can actually export the data. Okay, I'll show you how to basically do this. So once you export the data, it goes into your CSV, and it gets downloaded. And then you can just use this and you can use it for your watch list. Okay, so if you want to select few companies, so I want to track three or four of them, I can just select the ticker and I can upload them into the watch list. So I'll just show you how to prepare a watch list. Okay, so if you are ready for this, for watch list, just type ready in the comment box, right? Just type ready in the comment box if you are ready for the watch list. Okay, so this is I'll again give you the context that watch list is one of the most powerful and time saving tool that you have gone into get into the investing arsenal. Because if you are, say, working, or you are into business, or otherwise also you just want to keep doing what you like and you don't want to spend a lot of time in tracking the companies, then it is very very powerful tool when it comes to watch list. So how you need to do a watch list is very simple. Okay, so go to this top right, click on this square button, and this is where you can create a watch list. So just click on create new watch list and name it. Okay, so let's name it Super Monday. Okay, let's name it as Super Monday. And then you can add pretty much any companies which are coming in your screen. Okay, so let's say you want to add Reliance. You add Reliance. Say you want to add HDFC Bank. Okay, you add HDFC Bank. Say you want to now add Asian Paints. Okay, so I've added all the companies which I need. I can also upload, right? So I can just import the list, and same way I can export the list into the text file. So if I want to just export, it will export like this. Okay, and if I want to import, I can just click on import and change the tickers over here with comma separated, and I can just upload and it will refresh automatically. Okay, so that is again a very very powerful feature when it comes to uploading and exporting your watch list. So if you want to, say, if you are collaborating with a lot of your friends, you can just share the text file, they can upload there, and that's pretty much done. Okay, now again they have a very good feature which is a flag feature. So if you are taking, say, confirmed position, you can click on blue flag and you know that okay, I've taken the position here. If you have exited some position, you can make it a red flag that okay, I'm not looking at this, it is out of my radar. And if you are still keeping in watch list, you can make it, say, orange or something. It's again up to your creativity how you use, but this is again very very powerful feature, and I pretty much use it very very frequently. You can also track some weekly positions. You can also make a copy of any of the other screen. Okay, so I can make a copy of the same screen. Say for example, I'm opening a bigger screen. Say I'm opening say my chemical sector track list which I prepared. Okay, so say I want to make a copy, I can make a copy and just rename it as copy uh, of chemicals. Okay, and then I can pretty much add any other companies and my original list will remain intact. Say I want to add Vinati Organics, say I want to add Aarti Industries. Okay, so this way, say Aarti Drugs, it's again pharma, but I'm just adding here right now just for an example. So this is how I can add, and I can remove if you I want. I can just press on this cross button and it gets removed. Okay, so that is as simple as that. Okay, and then again you can basically play around with this. If you want to rename in the future all these things, you can do it. Okay, so this is how you can track any companies which you are getting in your screen, and then you can actually plug that in with this watch list and keep a track of this. Okay, so that is on watch list. And I think pretty much we have covered. I'm not going deeper into these things, but only one thing I want to cover right now is two things in fact. So one is you can export the data to CSV file which is visible on your chart, and then you can load lot of fundamental parameters on the top of your chart. Okay, so it will be like almost last 5 minutes which will be covering, and then I'll be sharing the gift which I promised. So uh, if you are ready for the last segment, just type ready in the comment box. Okay, so we'll do understand two very very crazy stuff which is out there. And as an investor, if you are practicing a blending of technical analysis and fundamental analysis, this is like crazy stuff. Okay, so just see this. Okay, so one, whatever data you have on this chart, right? So you have daily data, you have all the OHLC data loaded here. So if you want to export this entire data, right? So a lot of time people go to NSC, they download the BOW copy, and still they don't have all the information. They just have OHLC price data. But if you want to download the exact data which is out there on your screen, just go to this top left, okay, scroll it down, and click on export chart data. And it will tell you what kind of thing you want, and just click on export. Okay, and immediately you will find this file, and let it open. So whatever was loaded, I had EMA loaded on my chart, and this is time frame, by the way. So this is like a coding in which they store the time frame. You can do ISO. I think that should give you date wise in a proper format. But you got every day OHLC price. You get EMA on every day. You get volume. You get volume moving average. So whatever was pretty much loaded on our chart, it exported each and everything on the Excel sheet. How many of you found this amazing? Just type amazing in the comment box, right? So when it comes to all these things, it is really very very powerful. Okay, it's superb, awesome in terms of exploring all these things, right? So you can get data just like in the click of button. Any data you want. You want monthly data, you want daily data, you want minute by minute data, everything is possible. And if you have a pro version, you can also tweak this time frame also. You can customize your own time frame. So if you want, say, 2-minute data, you can make it 2 minutes, add here, and you will see that on the top, right? So just let me scroll. So you get 2 minutes over here. So once you click this, your 2 minutes data is loaded. If you want 2.5 minutes, you can do that. If you want 3 months rolling data, you can do it. 1.5 weeks, you can do it. So all those crazy things, you can do it, right? So this is just a next level of data. You get real time just by loading on the export button. Okay, so you get all the data. Now, second thing which I would like to share is again very very crazy and mind boggling, is on the chart you can load financials of the company. So say for example, you want to track that, okay, some company is going debt free, and because of that, what is the impact? Okay, so I can select total debt over here, and then load it here. Okay, so I can see that debt of this company is increasing, and if the price is falling, I know probably the correlation is there. Okay, same way, if I want to see that if say Reliance, okay, say Reliance, if the margin is improving along with the share price or not. Okay, I want to know that very quickly, because if you open annual report and do all these things, it will take you ages, right? And I am firmly believer that if you want to save your time, you should use a lot of tools, and you should automate a lot of things, and you should do things with precision, and save time using these tools, right? So uh, say if you want to see by operating margin, okay, with operating margin, uh, what was the impact on different share price movement. Okay, so I've loaded quarterly margin, and it will tell you the story that, okay, there was some margin improvement during these 2-3 quarters. And some of the company, if you see, like Alembic, which moved a bit earlier, and all those kind of companies, you will see those patterns playing out. So that from almost 15%, the margin went crazy to almost say 27%. Okay, so if the margin itself is increasing by almost like 10%, then there is something special that is happening. And you see, the price movement happened much later. The big price movement came when the results started coming out. But if you are using such tools, you can make out from 1 or 2 quarters that something is happening, and then you go back to your fundamental analysis, read the annual report, con call transcript, whatever method you have. you can go deeper into it. But this gives you a very preliminary bird's eye view that what is happening in this company fundamentally. And then you can also visualize that side by side with the price movement, right? So when it comes to blending both technicals and fundamentals, these are some of the very, very powerful ways and methods you can use it. And as an investor, you can go next level, right? How many of you found this next level? Just type NL in the comment box. Okay. So that is the power of using some of these tools, which will take you to the next level. Okay. So this is all I wanted to cover. Now it's time for gifts. Just type love gifts in the comment box if you love gifts, and I'll share it with you a cool gift, uh, which is one of the module of you know the entire session I have. So this is like 5,000 worth of gift which I'll be sharing with you, right? And this is the entire blueprint on basics of technical analysis. Just even if you are fundamental analyst and or investor and you don't know anything about technicals, I think this will help you immensely. And then there is much more in depth of whatever we have covered. Some of the parts are there, so you can again get the entire flow and recording of the session which we took. Even the advanced features which we have not talked right now, it's out there, right? And it is like limited time. This link will expire after a few days, so if you are watching on YouTube live, you are lucky, because this will remain limited time. So just go to this particular link, technofunda.co/gift, and you will find a page where you'll get the link to enroll the course, right? And if it is asking for payment, just put this coupon code live. Okay, when you put this coupon code, it's already embedded in the link, but just in case it creates any trouble, you can just put this code, and you can get it for free. Okay, so this is the cool gift which I wanted to share. And this is again token of appreciation for people who joined. And if you want to also explore more on TechnoFunda, I do sessions frequently, so you can join this link, technofunda.co/webinar. Okay, and next webinar I'm doing sometime in December. So if you are keen to explore more around blending technical analysis with fundamental analysis, you can pretty much join this session. This will be a live webinar, and you can basically learn more about TechnoFunda analysis system. Okay, so hope you have noted it down. If you have noted the gift and both these links, just type noted in the comment box. For people who missed it, I'll just share the link again. And this is the coupon code. If you are not able to get it free, just apply this coupon code, and it will be absolutely free. Okay. So hope this session was useful and you got some crazy learning within 1 hour. And hopefully you learned different things, and it will save a lot of your time and take you to the next level. So my request would be, just try it out. Just go to this link again. If you are not signed up, next 24 hours, just try it out, because if you don't practice it immediately, then you will forget, right? So just jump in and try these concepts out, and you will see the magic. Okay, so that's it, folks. I think pretty much covered all the concepts which I wanted to, and we are on time. It's almost 1 hour we have completed. So that's it. Have a great remaining evening. Thank you very much, and keep learning. Thank you. And if you want to visit my website, you can go to vivekmashrani.com, and you can see the kind of work I'm doing, and what kind of systems and strategies I'm using in terms of TechnoFunda investing. So if you're not yet subscribed, who are people on live, yeah, so the link is, let me share it here. So it's vivekmashrani.com. Okay, so the website link is vivekmashrani.com. So you can see a lot of articles, and if you are watching this from YouTube live, you can just subscribe to the channel if you want to explore new videos which I am launching in future, and you can keep learning. Okay, so stay safe and keep learning, and thank you very much for your time, and hope it was a lot of value and you learned a lot of things from this session. Signing off, and we'll see you in the next session.